Sweet home Alabama, Talladega Superspeedway, Sunday nights, Sim 500 action. About to rock and roll. Tied, if you will. As we get ready for 2 nights of racing at the 2.66 mile Talladega Superspeedway. Track built back in 1969. Known as the former Alabama International Raceway. It's had all types of stories, some sad, some good, but it's some of the best racing you will ever find in a lifetime. As we get you ready for round number 11 of this Sim 500 NC811 Grand National Series, where, of course, the weather's always the same, 79 degrees, 54% humidity, partly cloudy skies, but the track action is hot. I'm the captain, Chris Scalo. We welcome you in from Talladega in what has been a wild season so far. As we take a look at the point standings, Pedro Mojica has won half the events as we go into round number 11, and he's got himself a 51-point lead over Chad Coleman, Bob Gillenwater, Scott Simley, Stefan Marinik. They're your top 5. Of course, 16 drivers in the Grand National Series make the playoffs. Calantoni right now, the bubble boy, by 2 over Ron Holyfield, as you see all the way down to 25th. Still about a 40-point gap, so plenty of room for things to happen in these next few weeks before we get into the playoffs. Qualifying about to begin here, as we'll go down onto the track here and find some drivers. There's one in particular, as we always talk about, Tyler Dalton. That's going to be pretty quick here at Talladega, but there's another one, Tommy Ryan, we'll have to keep an eye on, as per usual, but other drivers too. And I do want to clarify something. Last week I stated during the race at Texas that tonight was a Dash for Cash race. I do want to correct myself. I mistakenly was looking at the Cup schedule last week, thought it was the Xfinity or the Grand National schedule, so by accident I made the comment that it was the Dash for Cash event. That is not tonight. That is actually tomorrow night. So I just want to get that clarified out there tonight. So apologies to the drivers who I got their hopes up and stuff on last week. I'm so mean, I know. All right, let's go. Cars on the track, and hey, look at here, Kevin England, my partner in the booth on Monday nights. Up there's a penalty. He'll be only getting a lap. Put that right front. Oh, he's having more issues than that. There goes the blue cone and everything. Poor Kevin. All right, here's Tommy Ryan out on track. Casey Duncan out here. Here's Wesley Donaldson going to come by and run a lap here. Of course, you want to be paying it right down to that yellow line here during the session. Wesley having a pretty good season so far. Started to kind of get his himself warmed up, so to say. Had a couple of good runs here recently. As everybody crosses the line for the first time, a 54.3. That'll be a lot quicker here. Jatina 54.7. Jimmy Coleman just now getting into the back straightaway, getting heated up himself. All right, so here we go. To the guys that I think are going to run for the pole here, and I say this because it happens every single time I go to a Superspeedway race. Good lap for Nick Cashman, 54.39. I believe it's his first race in the series. Tommy's going to cross the line, go to the bottom. Let's jump up here to Tyler Dalton because he's down the back straightaway right now on the second lap. Coy Woods in the purple right now, jumps to the top, 54.24. You see Tyler Dalton in the purple. Wetzel jumps to the top for now, 54.21. Let's see what Tyler has in store. As Tyler sets the mark, 54.18 for this guy right here. Let's see what Tommy's got. He was in the green, not the purple. Tommy goes second, 54.20. So Tyler gets him by 0.2. It never fails. Who else is out here running laps right now? Hadn't crossed the line. Jeff Ryan going to cross the start-finish line in that 811 call before you dig car. See, Jimmy Coleman's put a lap in. We got Charles Van Schaik here. Charles, that's a cool paint scheme. I kind of like that. Almost like an old school McDonald's look with the new school style, so to say. Kind of a Jimmy Spencer 94 look there. And he's going around with that. So the pole award tonight presented, of course, by your good friends at 811. Know It's Below. Call before you dig. We're going to talk to Tyler Dalton. He's not going to want me to talk to him, but that's part of this whole spiel. Is for me to talk to him. So, but instead of me doing it this way, I'm gonna ask him just in general. I'm hearing that's poll number 150 for you.
Number 150. Been inching close there for a while, and we knew we had two good shots at Talladega back-to-back here. And I actually put in a little bit of practice today on qualifying. Honestly, don't really care where I finish in the race. We got the goal accomplished, and we'll go out there and just have some fun now.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm realizing right now that I don't have this. Remember, I raced last night with you and totally forgot that all my buttons are on my wheel now, which is not connected. So, let me fix that really quickly. And let me hit the mute button here real quick.
You don't even have to pay your entry right now. Just register.
There we go. So I've muted him. Now we can hear you clearly and 100%. But no, great job. Congratulations on that 150 polls. I know that's an achievement that a lot of people don't get to achieve. I mean, there's a part of me that don't want to ask you tonight, what do you got to do to win? Because it seems like when I ask you that, it doesn't go well. So let's try the opposite. What do you not have to do to not wreck?
Like I said, my goal was to try to get the pole tonight to get to number 150 at this point. Just going to go out there and try to have fun. If we win, we win. If we wreck, we wreck.
Attaboy. Well, I wish you nothing but the best, and good luck tonight. And, of course, you're on the 811 poll, so nice job.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Tyler Dalton, I think he's got the best approach. He got poll number 150. Congratulations on that. I know you heard. Let me get Tyler down to his room. You heard Joey kind of talking there in the background. That was just more of an issue on my part. I did run a race last night, and, well, I forgot to move my mute button and everything back to my keyboard. And, yeah, so that's why you were able to hear probably Joey in the background as Tyler was trying to talk. So my apologies on that one. Anyway, starting lineup going to run across the top of the board. And a big shout-out to our good friends at 811. Of course, Know What's Below. Call before you dig. Especially, again, with those storms. I mean, I saw the video of West Palm Beach yesterday. I'm watching cars go flying in the air. And that was kind of scary looking, considering I'm from that area, a little north of there. But anyways, always if you see power lines or anything like that going on, make sure you do contact local authorities. Don't touch those lines. You never know if they're live. But if you're especially planning to dig, make sure you call before you dig that hole, because you never know what you might hit and you don't want to hit. And, of course, it's the law. All right, here is your race info tonight. 100, yeah, let's run the All-American ARCA series, I guess. Anyway, I got that series wrong. Good job, Scala. I'm 0 for 2 tonight. I even updated that. That's not even accurate. Well, anyways, apologies again. I'm 0 for 2 now in Sim 500. 88 laps tonight, 134 mile, or 234 miles, I think it was, in the end when I did the math. I owe them one now, Case. I'm starting to wonder where I put that file at. Anyways. 3 sets of tires, of course, as always, 100% fuel. Should be a close to a one-stopper. Probably be a 2 more likely. And this will be the 6th spring race here at Talladega Superspeedway. Pace car is in. Tyler Dalton, Tommy Ryan, going to lead him to the green flag. Race number 11. In some of the wildest Superspeedway racing you will see in any league is here in Sim 500 as we go green from Talladega. And of course, our cameras tonight presented by TrackCams22.com. You can check them out online on Facebook and in the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com is their website. Side by side, off turn number 4. Bad enough, I'm still trying to find that file. I don't know where I put it. I must put it in the wrong spot somewhere, obviously. As Tommy Ryan leads lap 1, 33 cars have started. All 33 took the green flag. You see the 9, Bobby Wetzel, down there working with the 19 car. You can call him sort of teammates there with Sim 500 Mafia. Up top, you got the 2 unacceptable racing cars. Randy Yoakum there behind the 99. There's the 54, Jimmy Coleman also. No, I don't think so. Most of them are right around 180 to 200, I think. Actually, more around the 180 mark. So, yeah, maybe it is. I don't know. See already the separation going on. One car climbing the top. That's Justin Fuller in that 51. You see Jatina up there. Jatina actually has a couple of starts here at Talladega in real life in an ARCA Series race. Looks like the inside line's starting to prevail just a little bit here, but Fuller, no help up there up top. There's one of our 5 winners in this series, by the way, here at this track. Do my usual research, see previous winners, and This one kind of caught me off guard. Casey Duncan, a previous winner here at Talladega. It was all the way back in the 2018 season in this Grand National Series. But he is a winner at this track. That was, matter of fact, it was 5 years ago yesterday he won that race. 2019. Was won by Jordan Hightower. And then 2020 came around, and that one was won by Byron Daly. So you're noticing a trend here. Different winners. And that happens a lot in this series. You get different winners. It's not usual to have a repeat winner. So when I keep going back to the Cup Series and saying Brian Macklin, it's impressive to win 3 Daytona Cup races in a row. Which, speaking of Macklin, he won this race in 2021. And look at the 3-wide this create. Behind arguably the, I don't want to call him the Ross Chastain because he don't really wreck anybody, but he is aggressive. Kevin DeBrown up there, that 93 car, the white and black hooded car. That dude will push anything. And of course, last year was Daniel Falkingham. So 5 winners in 5 attempts. And tonight we got a pretty good chance at 6 for 6 because, as you see, Casey Duncan and Brian Macklin are the only 2 repeat winners in here. Now, one driver to note is not in here tonight. Is our points leader. You might notice the 58 not on track tonight of Pedro Mojica. So that's going to hurt him a little bit in the point standings. But when you have 5 wins, I think you're okay. Fuller all the way up to the 2nd position. Now going for the lead outside after starting in 12th. Top side, there's the 1, Stefan Marinik. Dungeons and Dragons number 1. What? Oh, Pedro's hiding on me. Where did he come from? I didn't see him in this room at all. Well, that's why I have people watching the racing. Pedro's racing. I'm 0 for 3 now, boys and girls. And like today was the day I didn't rush at all. Like I was here, everything was set to go, ready to rock and roll, and oh boy. Producer's fired again. Walk the leadoff hitter. Fastball down the middle. He ain't swinging. Or are you going to give him the go sign on 3-0? Through Ryan Kevin here in the 10th position right now. Wesley Donaldson there in front of him. Bob Gillenwater a part of this pack. Bob and I talked a little bit before the race. We were sharing kind of strategies and stuff. I actually told him how I run this race. And he was like, that might not be a bad way to go. But as you see, Bob is running his way, which is totally fine. Everybody's got their own method to running this race. And Kevin DeBrown climbing to the top again. He's got help from Marinik up there. Mike Kelly's with him. Eric Arnold. Every car is a part of the pack. And one car I do want to point out, Brian Wertman back here. Check out this car. He showed this off to me a little bit ago. This is a throwback to Morgan Shepherd's Texas Pete car. For Pete's sakes. Wortman back here. This is where I would be when I'm racing. And I think I've explained it plenty of times on the stream what I would do when I'm back here. I like to be the last car in line the whole time. But that's just me. When you're the last car in line, you have control of everything. When there's cars behind you, you kind of don't have control. Because you never know if they might have brakes or not. Three wide, 5 rows deep. Josh Parker back there in the 81 just kind of chilling. Dalton leads that lap. And after the mess you got right here, it's all single file all the way back. So we ride with Glenn Campbell here, the Rhinestone Cowboy, the 80 or the 44 car. Tyler moving up to the middle groove with Wetzel there. Wetzel, easy boys. One of the easiest things to do when you're racing out here is follow that lead car or whoever you're pushing and not realize or totally forget, hey, there's a car to my outside or to your inside, and sometimes you get turned. Easy mistake to make. And if you're on iRacing, you've done it once or twice. As Jeff Ryan, with help from Jimmy Coleman, gets pushed on the bottom. If you're new to this stream, hit that subscribe button. If you're not new, go tell your friends. We're racing to Talladega for 2 nights here at Sim 500. Eric Arnold kind of hanging out there in the middle looking for somewhere to go, and there's really nowhere to go. Anthony Calantoni back there in the 84 car, really good on super speedways. He'll be one to watch here later on. There he is back there. Anthony looking up there at the front pack. Whole bunch of guys back here. E.J. O'Rourke being one of them. Chad Coleman, Pedro Mojica, Van Schaik. You can definitely tell the cars that like to have fun in the draft and those who just want to get to the finish. It only takes one move, and you can wipe out a ton of cars in a race like this. Dalton once again leading them across the line in that middle groove. Seems to be kind of the way to go right now. As Fuller, once again, that top side kind of collapses. There's John Fowler in the Race City Sports Memorabilia number 48 car doing a good job. Good Facebook page to check out there if you're one who likes collecting die-cast race cars. Check out Race City Sports Memorabilia. Good little follow there on the old Facebook. So everybody's still a part of the draft. All 33 cars that started. Kind of a smaller field, so to say. And a lot of people came really late to the show. LA Dodger fans or something. As Fuller clears himself to the lead here for about a half second. Moves down in front of Tyler. That should give the inside line a pretty good run here as the field really kind of spreading out here a little bit. There's the old B-Dubs car. Kevin England right now in the 22nd position in the 127 car. Which I did learn, by the way, through one of the broadcasts. It's a family number. That's why he runs the 127. Not because the track temp was 127 a few minutes ago. As up front, you see Kevin DeBrown now to the lead with Fuller pushing. That middle line starting to kind of go. It's like people don't want to settle. Nothing wrong with that. Dalton jumps back to the top. He wants to be in the lead. As Dale Jr. likes to preach, you get a run, you take it. You do not wait. Do not hesitate. Ooh, easy, Wetzel. He and Fuller about hit each other. Mentioned Nick Cashman. Him and I raced a little bit last night. The old Chipotle car. Hey, Nick, I wonder if they get free guac if you win tonight. Just saying. Hey, it does say something about guac on the back of his car. That's kind of funny. It's kind of funny watching this. You got the pack of, 9 cars that are sitting here 2 and 3 wide the whole entire time. The rest of the field's like, y'all have fun. We're good. We're just going to ride, chill, hang out. Some people are probably driving one-handed back here. I know sometimes when I'm in the back during a run like this, I'll drive one-handed half the time. Not because I'm like that good, but it's just like I got a mini refrigerator here to my left. There's a previous broadcast I've done where you can actually hear me beating the crap out of it. I literally will lay my elbow right here like an armrest and just drive. Look at this. Eric Arnold hanging Fuller out to the bottom. Eric Arnold, another one of those very aggressive drivers. He'll rough you up a little bit. Might even make you mad. But he does not change. And he'll lead that lap. But one thing I have seen tonight, that 9 is not leaving the 19's bumper. All right, 21 laps in. Let's step away for just a split second. Hear a word from our sponsors, 811, as you're watching Talladega Sim 500 on the Captain Esports Network.
If recent storms have caused damage to your property, contact 811 before you begin your cleanup. Buried utilities around uprooted trees can make a bad situation worse if those lines are not located before digging. Electric, natural gas, and internet lines are everywhere, and knowing where they are is the safest way to start any digging project. Call North Carolina 811 by dialing 811 or by using single address ticket on nc811.org or the NC811 app.
All right, back we are here at Talladega Superspeedway, round number 11 of this 811 call before you dig Grand National Series from Sim 500. As Kevin Brown led there for about a half a straightaway. Now Josh Parker going to the front. As we've seen some pretty good racing. I would say sort of tame at times. Sort of wild at times. But otherwise, typical Talladega type stuff. As recorder distance here, 22 laps complete. So fuel strategy-wise, that is the million-dollar question here. Oh, Fuller, that was... Oh, I thought he was wrecking for a second. There is really no way, shape, or form, unless you're in a next-gen car, that you're going to make it 45 laps. And I don't even think the next-gen car can go that far. So you're looking at a two-stop strategy unless something goes flying out here in the next little bit. So with that said, I think pit stops are probably about 10 to 15 laps away in what is going to become a two-stop race. Of course, tomorrow night, come join us as we will be in the booth again for the Cup Series here from Talladega. 8:15 Eastern Time. Hopefully everything will go smooth for me at work tomorrow, and we'll have a good night of racing. Well, we'll have a good night of racing no matter what. Just a matter of how tired I'll be at the end. Hey, no matter what, I'll have my A game. Kevin England will be in here with me. We'll have some fun. One of the big keys that I find in this kind of racing, especially in a group like this, a lot of these drivers have been around each other for a very long time, for years. This is one of those leagues when people are committed to it, they're committed and they stay. Obviously, yeah, you've had some drivers that have moved on to either Pro Series or actually race in real life, that kind of thing. But a lot of these guys, they run in this league together, and they don't just run tonight or tomorrow night. They run in the other series, like the Truck Series that's coming here again on Wednesday nights in the very near future, or even over in the GOAT Series, which I joined them last night in running with some of the guys. But when you get out here and you run multiple seasons with each other and running 4 of these a year, and not to mention if they do a Superspeedway series during the off time, these guys get used to each other. And I think that's what opens up the trust for these guys to be able to run like this. As you see E.J. O'Rourke going to go to the lead here in the 41 car. These guys are able to run side by side and trust each other. Most of them. You know, and that's why I've argued that I've not seen a series be able to race as aggressive. Now, tonight it's been kind of tame, actually. But as aggressive as I've seen this series race on a Superspeedway race and make it as good looking as possible. I mean, I've talked about the other Friday night series that I cover. Those guys put on a great show also. So I can't take anything away from them. But this stuff here is like, you know, most of these series that you see covered on other iRacing broadcasts and things like that, they're wrecked by now. But 27 laps going to be in the books next time. There's an elevator move. Casey Duncan, as I mentioned, a previous winner in this series. Gerald Livingston, there's your points leader back here. Pedro Mojica running in the 29th position. And Pedro actually happened to be a Superspeedway champion in this series back in 2022 when the Captain Esports Network first came on board. They were in the middle of a Superspeedway series in the wintertime. And Pedro went out there and won that championship. As a matter of fact, he has not lost a Sunday championship since we've taken over on Sundays. Kind of funny and weird. But hey. And of course, on the Monday side, he picked up his first win of the season finally last week. Sometimes? No, every time, Aaron. It's just a matter of sometimes it bites you, sometimes it don't. Just gotta be willing to accept it. Two of the more aggressive drivers in the series, right up there at the top. As I mentioned, Eric Arnold, Kevin DeBrown, E.J. O'Rourke right there in the 41 also, and then Tyler Dalton in that 19, and stuck to that 19's that 9 car, Bobby Wetzel. I don't have that much time on my hands, unfortunately. I've won a Daytona 500 on iRacing. As Josh Parker sneaks that Hunt Brothers Pizza Ford up to the front now. Of course, Josh, Captain starting to back. Or if there's another better name you can find for me, please use it. Mr. Rear End, whatever, because he starts in the back all the time and works his way to the front, or tries to. John Fowler getting there behind that 41, trying to push him up there on that top side. Doug Sigmund there in the 04 car. Got Marinick there behind him. A couple of the Turn 1 Heroes cars there. First, the 1 and 2 car there running nose to tail. And then behind them, there's the Call 811 cars working together. So you definitely see a lot of the teams coming together here. Kind of getting themselves organized in the pack. Probably getting set up now for pit stops, which are going to happen here in just a moment. Easy there. Calantoni and Cashman about came together. So the window's open right now. You could pit at this point and go one more stop to the finish. And sometimes that early stop is the way to go to try to steal some track position here, because once you do these pit stops, it's going to spread the field out. Joey Jatina down there in that 14 car, working with Gillenwater, who's kind of got some blinking going on there. To 44, Glenn Campbell. All right, so it's that point of the race. I usually like to do it during a super speedway race, and it's always a chance. I always throw a prerequisite, or not a prerequisite, but a warning out there that foul language could come over the air by this. But I'm going to unmute chat now and listen for when pit stops are going to happen. Oh, never mind the wreck, and Tyler Dalton gets turned right in front of the field. Justin Fuller involved. Oh, more cars get clobbered. Tommy Ryan, Jason Branch. John Fowler got some damage in this, and he's still spitting. Mojica's okay, looks like. Fowler's jumped to the pits, unfortunately. We were just getting ready for pit stops, and all of a sudden I looked up, I saw the 19 car sideways. Yeah, no kidding, Case. We almost had your bingo card filled out. Doug Sigmund with damage in the 04. Got the mosquito repellent out. All right, let's go back. When I hit this button, I'm going to hit stop because it actually happens. Dalton being pushed by Wetzel. Did we get a bad bump here? I don't know what to call that. Wetzel gets heavy damage. Jimmy Coleman with a T-bone steak on the 48. Parker somehow squeezes through there. Here's the thing. Tyler was nowhere close to getting pushed. Did Tyler get loose? I think, Casey, you're onto it here. Now the wheels turned. I don't think he got loose. Yeah, I almost think two of them are going for the same piece of real estate here. See, there's nobody in the middle here. You wonder, because remember, the 9's been on the bumper of Tyler the whole time. So you wonder if Tyler was like, Bobby, let's go middle here, because he sees Fowler's by himself. And at the same time, there goes the 51 up to the middle. And unfortunately, two people cannot get the same piece of real estate. How did Parker miss that car? Let's go on board. Wow. Let's go on board with the boss man here. Patina holding the bottom lane down there, and you see the contact. He does the right thing. He doesn't panic. Lets the wreck kind of happen there in front of him. And a lot of cars have come to pit road here. We should be one to green. Yeah, this time by. So that's the one thing about these big tracks. The cautions go quick. All right, about to go green here at Talladega. After the first caution there, sort of a big wreck. It looked like about, 5, 6, 7 cars involved. Could have been a lot worse than it was. Tommy Ryan and Justin Fuller, their cars are unfortunately off the track right now. Sigmund is 2 laps down. Tyler Dalton lost a lap. Otherwise, everybody else good to go as we come back to green. And thanks to our good friends at frontstretch.com, it is that time to enjoy the sounds of the Sim 500 Grand National Series as we turn it up on the Captain Esports Network. As you see, most of the field is single file as we just passed the 100-mile mark. Turn it up, presented by frontstretch.com. You can get a recap of the IndyCar race from earlier today at Birmingham, Barber Motorsports Park. in, I guess you could say, a preview of tomorrow's Cup race at Dover Motor Speedway. So much on there. A podcast featuring an interview with Rusty Wallace in his return to the booth, of course, as a guest analyst for Fox this weekend. You can check out all of that and more. The Friday Face-Off, where I spoke about some questions about Dover in itself and some other debatable questions that we talked about. So you can check all that out, frontstretch.com. E.J. O'Rourke up front is, I should recap the caution real quick as we looked at the replay a few times, so I didn't get a chance to clean everything up here. Everybody did come to pit road for tires and fuel for the most part, and that's what allowed E.J. O'Rourke to be out front with Kevin DeBrown there on that restart. John Fowler did take his car behind the wall. He is out of the race. Tommy Ryan, Justin Fuller, and now Tyler Dalton has taken his car behind the wall. So once again, Tyler's probably mad at me. So, unfortunate for him, though. O'Rourke getting pushed by Calantoni. You saw Jatina up there on the top side with Eric Arnold trying to get going. As the 3 wide starts to form, and here comes old Bobby G to the bottom. Bob Gillenwater with help from Glenn Campbell. Wesley Donaldson down there on the bottom side with Stefan Marinick. The racing starting to pick up a little bit here as we get to halfway. If you're in it, you can win it. Be on that lead lap, and you have a shot to win at Talladega. Talking Giants watching tonight. Appreciate you. And Justin Fuller's brought his car to pit road. So now we're set up where it's pretty much a one-stopper the rest of the way, with everybody pitting there at 35, 36. You can obviously go, it's about 70 to 75 in that range, but you might see the field split this run in half. 55 to 88 is 30, wow, that's a lot of math. Let's see, 35 to 88 is 53 laps. You split that by, what, 27? As O'Rourke elevator moved to block the bottom lane as Wetzel tries to get that top side going. Wetzel with that rear end damage still up here at the front. But do 53 laps would be 26 and a half. So 27 laps, we'll call it. Split the run in half and get to the finish. Charles Van Schaik there. That McDonald's car has been center punched. It looks like he's okay. And there's Kevin England there in that 127 car. How cool would that be if Kevin went to victory lane? That'd be awesome. Tell you what, off the air, that man has shared some really cool stories about some vehicles. He is a big-time fan of restoring vehicles and that kind of thing. He's definitely a man that loves his modifieds. I've enjoyed my time working with Kevin on Monday nights. outside and middle lanes kind of falling back a little bit here. There's only 2 of them per piece, and that's not going to help the momentum here. I think Joey and Eric or one of the 2 need to move down and get with that other pack and form up that middle lane. Otherwise, it's just going to kind of go choo-choo backwards until that other pack can get to them. That's where you see in the front, 4 now have cleared themselves? If we get another yellow, I'm so doing that. I have not thought about that. Do a green flag run and pull him up here. Hey, Kev! I do enjoy doing this. So I do want to keep my job. Here's Doy Woods. Ran last night in the GOAT Series, which is the partner series to this one last night. Doy was in that race. He was running the number 66 car, and I don't think he heard what I said to him. But, of course, he runs these old-school paint schemes. He runs the Winn-Dixie one on Sundays, runs the Davey Allison special there on Mondays. And I told him last night, I said, as I was passing him for something, I forget why, maybe fresher tires or whatever. And I passed him, he's in the 66. I'm like, dude, how are you not in the Dick Trickle number 66 Phillips car? Tyler Dalton leaving pit road. Unfortunately for him, he's going to be 12 laps down, it looks like. 11 or 12 down to the field. Just going to go out here and try to salvage as much points as possible. Up front, Kevin Brown trying to make a move top side. Unfortunately, he's all by his lonesome. Well, unfortunately, you probably already had missed me being taken out. Well, not taken out, but being involved in an incident and others. First race in over a month last night. Oh, cool. I had fun, but it's kind of, yeah, I had to get used to driving again. And Tyler Dalton back to pit road, so obviously more issues for that 19 car. Wow, really? Oh, never mind. I see what you're doing. Well, when you run 14 different official races yesterday, especially Carb Cup, which gets you absolutely nothing but builds your self-esteem, if anything. So the outside line is really getting formed up now. As we talked about, we got some cars coming to pit road here. The window's open, I believe. So some cars going to try some strategy here. I see the Turn 1 heroes on pit road here, along with Charles Van Schaik. You got to be smooth, though, in here. Kevin Stone. Is 5 cars going to be enough to keep a train going and stay on the lead lap here? That's a good point, Case. So going to be very interesting to see how these guys get rolling here. They should be able to go the rest of the way on fuel. Interesting play. Now here's let's talk for a second here about the pros and cons of the moves that team just made. So here's the pros to the move they just made. They have no other plans of coming to pit road here. So at that point, a caution comes out. Those cars can jump right to the front and become the leaders of the race. The cons to this whole thing is obviously there's 5 of them in a pack right now. If they don't get organized, and let's look back at them real quick here. If they're not organized, as right now they're still not organized, they need to get closer together. That front pack is going to catch them. And as you see, they're over here in turn 1 and 2 right now. And the pack's coming through the tri-oval as Doug Sigmund leaves pit road. I mean, I like the idea of what they did. I'm just more worried about how many cars are in that pack, and I'm going to watch their times here closely. I appreciate the viewers watching tonight. If you're enjoying the stream, you can always hit that subscribe button. If you're returning to the channel as per usual, we appreciate it. As we continue to work on our quest to 1,000 subscribers. I'm pretty guaranteed right now that I will clear my debt using the Dave Ramsey system quicker, and I'll get to 1,000 subscribers likely. This field's kind of spreading out a little bit here again. I don't really see too much aggression going on track, so I think everybody's maybe just trying to find, you know what it could be, is everybody's trying to find a teammate here, trying to find somebody to work with, because maybe we're going to see pit stops here in a second. That would be my thought here. Oh, bummer, Keith. Good to hear from you, though. Boat racing, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so last time by the way, the pack, if you will, ran 50 and 51-second laps. Looking down here at that other pack, 51, 59s, and 60s. So the front pack was just slightly quicker. I mean, if they run that pace right there, they'll be fine. They'll not go a lap down, but they'll be in the middle of this pack and not at the front. They need to try to gain a couple seconds if they can here before these rest of these cars come to pit road. Now, the question is, you got team name, you got Sim 500 Mafia, as Calantoni goes to the lead. Calantoni gets pushed out there by Eric Arnold. So, again, who's going to work with who here? Where were you guys racing at, Keith? I assume over near your area there. I've got a lot of short track racing to catch up on, a lot of dirt stuff. Haven't had a chance to throw flow on in a while. I think you're going to see a lot of this field come to pit road right around 25 to go. Or at least a good portion of them. Here, let's compare lap times again here. All right, field crosses the line. We'll go off of Eric Arnold's time up front, 51:24. Yeah, Kev's doing a good job. He stayed out of trouble. He's kind of hanging out back there. What I need to do is Casey said there, war on chat. He said, I need to pull him up in the booth and have him give a shout out to all the drivers ahead of him. Yes, I'm still waiting for the others to cross the line. That's because they're only about a straightaway ahead. All right, here he goes. They cross the line. 51-47, 48-47 for Simley and all those guys there. So they're losing a little bit. Okay. I mean, I haven't heard of those tracks, but I've heard of the Excel modified dirt car. Those are big blocks, if I remember correctly, right? Not 358s. Casey Duncan up here in the 7th position. KC won this race back in 2018. I could throw some old jokes in there at Casey, but I'm not going to. He's doing a good job, and he would probably come find me and yell at me. All right, let's ride with Kev here, and let's kind of, I'm going to put myself in Kevin's seat here for a second and kind of talk through what he's got going on here. So right now he's behind Glenn Campbell. Now, speaking from the opinion here, I'm not totally a fan of where he's at right now. And I say that from the standpoint of just my experience in racing. Now, Aaron, you mentioned Brian Wertman. Brian Wertman is exactly... Him and I have worked together multiple times in Superspeedway races doing this right here as we ride with Brian now. This is right here is the car I want to be in. Let me explain why. For those who have never heard me explain my theory of Superspeedway racing. If you look out his rear view, there's no one. Okay? So, when there's nobody behind you, everything's in front of you. Okay? So if they start wrecking up front, you have all the room behind you to literally stomp on the brake and stop the car if you need to and not worried about getting ran over by somebody. Not that you can't trust people, but that's just my theory. You just can't get ran over by anybody. But then at the same time, and I use part of this technique when I'm driving as, and I say driving, real life driving, when I work for FedEx, I use this theory on iRacing. When my eyes, and I'm on racing here in super speedways, I'm not looking at Gerald Livingston here. I'm not looking up here to Joe Hudson. I'm looking up front from here. And you might notice when I'm driving, I'll move my car up to get myself a view of the pack. So I can see, all right, there's 3 wide up here ahead. And there's what's going on, who's running close, who's not running so close. And kind of have that ready so if I need to get off the gas or whatever, I can see where I'm at. Now, as we get closer and people start communicating with each other about, hey, we're going to come to pit road, at that point, I start going as far up as I can go. Because at that point, if you're the last car coming to pit road back here, there's a chance you're not going to be in this pack. Or you're going to miss the lead pack when you come to pit. So I think at any moment here, Brian Wertman, Gerald Livingston, Chad Coleman, Pedro Mojica, those guys who have been hanging in the back all day, those guys are probably going to need to get up here into this pack a little bit to gain that track position. But that's my theory behind that. It's how I won the Daytona 500 last season on iRacing. It's how I think I've won like 3 or 4 out of my, I think I have 12 overall wins on iRacing. I've won 3 or 4 of my super speedway races. Oh, as Parker gets a little loose there, off 2. And 90% of it, I've done it that same way, just hang in the back until a certain lap. Now, what I would do here is when we come to pit road, at that point, I'm going to be the last car in line in that pack until a certain point in the race. Right now, it's Eric Arnold up front, Anthony Calantoni, Jeff Ryan, Joey Jatina, and Randy Yoakum. As we're going to step away for a quick second before the pit stops do happen and hear from our sponsors, 811, as you're watching the Captain Esports Network.
If recent storms have caused damage to your property, contact 811 before you begin your cleanup. Buried utilities around uprooted trees can make a bad situation worse if those lines are not located before digging. Electric, natural gas, and internet lines are everywhere, and knowing where they are is the safest way to start any digging project. Call North Carolina 811 by dialing 811 or by using single address ticket on nc811.org or the NC811 app.
All right, back here at Talladega Superspeedway, virtually on iRacing, looking from the fan cam, looking back at I-20, which is out there. Trust me, you just don't see it on the sim. As we're in Talladega, Alabama, virtually on iRacing, race number 11 of the Sim 500 Grand National Series, presented by 811. North Carolina's 811. A reminder to please call before you dig if you have any kind of plans to do so. And, of course, as we go into the summertime, some of you might be trying to maybe working on an indoor pool or working to do something, maybe put a fence in or anything like that. A reminder, just call before you dig if you do so. So one caution so far for a wreck back at lap number 35. Otherwise, been clean and green, seeing some fantastic racing up front as Eric Arnold right now leads Anthony Calantoni. Let's turn the race audio on. Jeff Ryan is up front there right now in that 3-car. Joey Jattina, who's actually run some racing here at Talladega in the past, his home track. Jimmy Coleman up there in the top 5 after T-boning a car in that caution earlier. Casey Duncan, Bobby Wetzel. And look at Randy Oakham pushing that top side. As we hit that 25 to go mark, when are these cars going to pit? We've already had the turn 1 team come to pit road, and they're about 38 seconds back from the leaders trying to hold on to this pack. And look at this run by Cashman. Here we go. There's a couple cars right there. E.J. O'Rourke. DeBrown, Parker, look, oh, and Parker's all types of sideways. This is the team name, or the team name group right here coming in. Mojica's in, Kevin DeBrown, Chad Coleman, Doy Woods. And I have to see, how did Parker not get a penalty for that? Holy cow, he was 4-wheel sliding it. Pulled the e-brake. Well organized, I gotta get lined up though. All right, so the pack you got to watch now is this 5-car pack back here. Can they get to this pack? They're not going to be ahead of them, I'll say that. So that just tells you they've lost a little bit of time. And I can tell they've been switching because now Ritter's pushing instead of Mike Kelly. Well, they're actually going to shuffle a work here. Ooh. All right, so will that force the hand of these cars now? And you notice that time off of the track, or on the track, I should say, after the pit stops from Ernick and them, they've lost that other pack. So that tells you they're going to need some help. Yeah, there's your separation right there. Let's actually, let me pull out the old road racing tool I like to use for the super speedways. That's not the right one. I always get it mixed up. That one right here. So this is from O'Rourke back to Marinick. And of course the times are going to be lopsided these last 2 laps because of the pit stops. So let's see right here if Marinick is able to gain any time on O'Rourke. Look at that, lost a half second. So they're going to need some help, unfortunately. Now, obviously, the more cars that pit at one time here, the chances are they might get more cars to help them out because of somebody messing up the cycle. But one thing I've noticed, remember the strategy I talked about? Here comes Wortman. He's going to get up here in his pack now because he knows he needs to try to get what he can and be as clean as possible for that pit stop to happen. But the problem is he's got really no help. And that just tells me that cars are going to be coming to pit road right now. A whole bunch of them. Everybody good so far. Just got to know where your pit stall is now. Oh, Casey Duncan and Wetzel hit each other. Casey Duncan overshot his pit stall. That's just one of those, you got to know where everybody is on pit road and where they start. Should be fuel only for everybody here, if not 2 tires. Here comes the team name pack. Oh, Jatina might have went above the yellow line too soon. Here come others to pit road. Brian Wortman's out there by himself. Ugh. I don't know if I like that move. I think Yoka might have had issues coming to pit road, because he was just getting to his pit stalls. Jeff Ryan's leaving. Kevin England with issues. Yeah, a couple of cars had issues. Oh, there goes Yoakum. There goes Cashman. Kevin follows suit. Is there ice all of a sudden on the track? Who put the oil down on pit road? Enter the Benny Hill music right here. All right, so now the 74 is on pit road, so the race is on now. Let's see if Wortman can get a good launch off pit road. He's already getting passed by the leaders right now. One part that surprises me there is Wortman's usually in the chat with the Sim 500 Mafia guys. So I would have thought that maybe they would have got the message or so. Please, look at this. The second pack is caught the first pack, and they all start blocking. We come up on a couple lap cars here. This is where the pack's going to start coming back together now. Now the pack that this caught a break, the whole pit stop break ended up working out for, was those cars that were in the back. Mike Kelly, Scott Simley, and those guys. There they are. They're in this lead pack. What worked out for them was the Sim 500 Mafia guys fell back to them. Kevin England back on pit road. That's obviously to serve a penalty for spinning out of the pits, basically. So did the 2 others there that went spinning. Brian Wortman had a slow pit stop, and I'm trying to see why. Wonder if he was just very conservative coming to pit road or something. So look at this. Started in the back, and now he's up front. Pedro Mojica leading here. Doy Woods, Josh Parker, E.J. O'Rourke, Chad Coleman. All 5 of those guys in the Team Name Discord channel working together. Wesley Donaldson, Kevin Brown, Stefan Marinick, Callan Tony, Van Schaik. Pack of about 14 to 15 cars. And it's about to become 17 because Steve Ritter and Jeff Ryan are about to join this pack. And the racing is about to be good. And not that it's not been good, but it's really about to be good. Put your seatbelts on. Van Schaik up there giving a big push to Marinik. Matter of fact, he's going to push him to the lead. Look at the one car top side. Ooh, everybody scattered. Yeah, Tyler, it literally looked like just two people going for the same piece of real estate, my man. I can't even say that was your fault. I know you're being harder on yourself on that part, but you know, he made the same move you did, just on the opposite sides. I mean, I don't see fault from either of you. That's just racing, man. E.J. O'Rourke getting help from Wesley Donaldson. Joey Jatina, the boss man's in the middle of this also. On board with him. As Jason Branch comes to pit road. This is the part of the race where I have to remind myself, dude, to talk. Because I'm sitting here just being the fan watching this. We literally have 18, 19 cars in the lead pack right now with a chance to win this race. And if you're Jeff Ryan, you're looking like, He's actually the car I'd want to be right now, because I could stop my car almost again. Got to be careful with the pushing, especially mid-corner. Even into this 18-degree tri-oval banking right here. Man, it's a long way to Richmond going north on 95. Ooh, stay off that apron. And that's something else that's kind of pointed out there, what Doy just did, what Josh Parker just did. If you're pushing a car, there's really no way to see in front of you. Let's go on board here. Look at this. Yeah, I don't know where the other car is. Aaron, that's a song. As we come to 9 laps to go. Look up Travis Tritt. I don't remember. I think the song is called Richmond. No, actually it's not. Now you got me thinking. Yeah, I can't remember the title of the song. So we come to 8 laps to go. Oh, Mojica almost got shuffled there. He kind of moved up a little bit, had to make a decision because Doy Woods was there. Here comes the boss man to the top now. You think this is great? Wait till tomorrow night. The Cup cars here at Talladega. I mean, I think I know the answer to this, but can they do it for 7 more laps? Ooh, Van Schaik almost got himself shuffled. Who's got the popcorn? Top 2 groups going to the front here now. Ooh, 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 easy. And of course, just like that, what, a half lap? The top group fell apart. So now they got to rebuild that momentum. Marinik going to dive in, it looks like, and leave Joey out. So Joey's going to follow the back now as O'Rourke goes to the lead. Oh, don't push the pusher either. That's another rule. And you got to remember, iRacing spotters or whatever program they use, unless they use an actual person, there is no kind of communication at all in drivers that say, hey, this guy is pushing this guy or whatever. You don't have that. Unless you actually have a live spotter. The one thing you're hearing right now is car low, car high. 3 wide. That's all you're hearing. There's no, hey, he's on your door. Hey, he's there. He's there. Nope. That's where you have to use your mirrors and, I mean, you can communicate with the drivers if you're in Discord and say, hey, are you pushing him? Yeah, or whatever, but that's easier said than done. 5 laps to go. This is the point of the race where up until 2021 or so when they came out with the green, white checkers on iRacing, 2021, something like that, that this was the point of the race. You had to go because if a caution come out, the race was likely over. But we have green, white checker finishes now, so you can still kind of hang back, but you still want to try to get what you can get here. Unfortunately, there's not much to get. Kevin DeBrown bringing that top side now with Marinik, with Mike Kelly. Doy gets a little loose down there in the bottom. Pushing's going to get more aggressive now, I think. Mojica getting a shove out front. And where do you want to be here? I want to be, I think, on the top groove because I think the momentum is going to come from there. But there's the other part of me that wants to be on the bottom because I could have all that track below me in case they do wreck. I don't... yes, there's my answer. That's where I want to be. Yes. And of course, I say that as the top group falls apart again. As somebody's coming to pit road. Oh, Kevin England. Okay. 2 laps to go. If they make it back to the white, the race is official. Ooh, Parker's leaning on Doy. Oh, we got a lap car coming up on. I'm sure they're communicating with him. It's Jason Branch, or no, it's Wortman. He goes to the apron. Brian will come up. I was going to say, this was the anniversary of the Kevin LePage. We didn't need that. Good job, Brian. All right, so they made the white flag. This is it. The race has finally begun. I mean, people moving around topside with Cal and Tony clears with Kevin DeBrown pushing. I said it earlier about Kevin pushing people, did I not? Is Kevin going to make a move for it? Cal and Tony goes to block. No, he doesn't. Beating and banging, contact everywhere. Coming to the line, Kevin DeBrown has won at Talladega. Wow! I've got nothing. That was amazing. That's all I can say. Kevin DeBrown becomes the 6th winner in 6 years of this race. All right, let's go back to this lap all over again, this final lap. Let me hit stop and go back to the regular cameras. All right, so as they cross the start-finish line, look at this. The top groove is way back. I mean, they're, what, 6th, 7th place here? So Kevin's already got this run being formed. Kevin's already in the bubble there. He starts pushing, and he does not leave the bumper of this 84 car. I mean, look at that. The one hit the wall, actually. I mean, everybody's going for everything here. That was crazy. All right, so unofficially start the oh, and oh, by the way, is this where I mentioned I haven't done it all night? Start finish line's down at turn 1. Doy Woods ends up 3rd. EJ O'Rourke, Bob Gillenwater, Josh Parker, Wesley Donaldson, Campbell, Charles Van Schaik ends up 9th, Marinick 10th. And look at that, the 2 top point leaders, 12th and 13th. Man. Let's bring up Doy Woods in what was a phenomenal race, phenomenal finish in the end. Let me make sure your mic is on. It is, which is good. Doy, man, that was wild. All you can do is get yourself in position to win, but you end up with 3rd. Not a bad run.
Yeah, it was all right. The Winn-Dixie Mustang was pretty strong, and we showed it there at the end and led some laps. Just got past there and never could recover. But a solid 3rd place finish out of that fiasco at the end. We'll take it and go on next week and try to win.
Anything that you can do to prepare for tomorrow night at all? Because tomorrow night's going to be a whole nother deal.
About the same thing, I guess. Make sure you get on fuel and, started overheating and I never could get the damn thing to cool off. And I'll try to do a better job of keeping the thing a little bit cooled off a little bit better so I can attack a little bit more at the end. That was the only thing that I wish I'd have done better.
And that's how you learn. I mean, we learn, unfortunately, through ways that we don't like. And unfortunately for you, it's finishing 3rd in what was a fantastic race, a fantastic finish. Talk about that last lap from what you saw, because I know you made a move there to try to win the race, obviously, yourself. What did you see from where you were?
Well, if I was clear, I guess I should have went below the yellow line there when I saw that checkup at the end going into travel, but I didn't know if I could do that on the last lap or not. But if I could or couldn't, I'd have just cut the apron there and maybe won the race. But who knows?
Well, it definitely worked out for you still to finish in the top 3 tonight. We're actually watching a replay of on board your car here. But great job tonight. Send some shout-outs whoever you like to.
Everybody that makes it possible, everybody that believes in me that I'm pretty good at doing what I'm doing and got good sponsorship. And hopefully we can win 10 more races and win this championship.
There you go. I like it. Well, good luck the rest of the way, man. We'll talk tomorrow night, potentially.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Doy Woods finishing in the 3rd position as you watch him get the moves done here. I mean, the only thing he could really do in that book, as you look on board, was to give Calantoni that push. And then obviously giving that push at that kind of speed difference makes it really tough for him. So great job on his part and finishing in the 3rd position. All right, let's talk to Mr. Talking Giants here. Anthony Calantoni finishes in the 2nd position. Anthony, you and I seem to speak an awful lot in these kind of races. And once again, you found yourself up there. And the first question I have to ask, did Kevin give you any kind of, dude, you better have your seatbelt on off turn 2?
Chris, I already knew that just because I know he's a hell of a good pusher.
Oh, man, I'm riding on board with you now. Talk about that last lap.
That even coming the 5 to go, Chris, you can't ask for much better racing. That was outstanding. And then I just saw the hole up top coming to the white, and I said I had to take it. And I'm not much of the 3rd lane guy. I hate driving that top lane, and I took it, and I saw Kevin back there, and I knew there was a good shot.
So obviously you guys get clear of the pack here. You're knowing, okay, Kev's going to make a move here. What are you thinking here at this point? Like, what do you got to do?
I was going to try and protect as much as I could, but then once I saw EJ go with him, that's when I aborted my block there coming off of 4, because that way it just caused a big mess, and I was just going to hope that someone was going to give me the shot on the bottom lane. But Doy gave it to me. It wasn't really that square, but it is what it is. It was enough for P2.
And then also mid-corner, too. That also doesn't help things. But, man, great job tonight. another top 3 in a super speedway track. I think your day's coming on this track at least. But send some shouts wherever you like to.
Chris, this is a lot better conversation than from Daytona, isn't it?
A little bit, wee bit.
But
go ahead.
I gotta thank Talking Giants, John Boy Media, all the sponsors at Sim 500. I think this is NC 811 Call Before You Dig series. There's so many series, Chris. You don't remember who's here,
Right?
Yeah, I gotta thank you. You do a hell of a job with the broadcast, and all the fans who are in the chat supporting.
And I think there might be some hype up in that New York area right now for a young man named Jalen Hyatt that team drafted this season. So we'll see if he turns into the next big thing there in New York. But great job tonight. Congratulations on P2.
That's what I've been hearing, Chris. I was talking to the sponsors throughout the weekend with the draft. They're psyched. We're psyched about the season coming up. And if anyone wants, go follow Talking Giants at Talking Giants on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. It's a great podcast, great little company, and they're I think they may do a broadcast with you maybe eventually.
Whoa! Just saying. That'd be big time. No, I appreciate your time, buddy.
Thank you.
Anthony Calantoni. That was fun. Calantoni's a good guy. Good guy. A little tease there, huh? Hey, you never know. I don't know. I mean, I've watched plenty of Giants football back in the day because I had some friends I grew up with in Florida that always watched the New York Football Giants. Well, I guess there had to be a winner, huh, Kevin?
Of course. It was crazy coming off of 4. No one knew who was going to fucking win there. That was insane. Oh, my God. Let me tell you what. Coming to the white flag, I was hoping when I had Marinette behind me, I knew he had to be hot, pushing me the whole time, trying to get me up front. And I was like, come on, please, someone jump up here because I will push the hell out of you. And thankfully, Calantoni came up with us because, good God, we were like, we shot out a cannon.
Yeah, you definitely did. And I think you just covered one of another league's bingo cards for me with that F-bomb. Appreciate that.
Wait, no.
So, no, it's a good thing. They've been waiting to get that spot filled, I think, on the bingo card. Anyways, so let's talk his final lap. I mean, I think I've been watching all the different views here. You literally, from turn 2 down to clearing the pack, pushed Anthony.
Yeah, I was. I told them in the chat and the team name, and I was like, "This last lap, I'm pushing. If it blows up, it blows up. I don't care." And I was hopefully going to be squared the whole time, which I was on Calantoni. I didn't want to wreck him at all, of course. And honestly, I didn't think I was going to be able to clear him coming off of 4, but thankfully EJ went with me, so that probably was my saving grace there.
Yeah, EJ did a great job there making that move. But talk about. Let's talk that last lap. What went through your mind? Talk through all the moves here because obviously you're sitting about 9th, I think, coming to the white flag because you guys had lost that momentum at the top, and obviously you started getting it back going into turn 1, and then there. Talk about the rest.
Yeah, the whole time, like I knew I needed somebody to come up there with us because, like I said, Marinette, he had to be hot, pushing me that whole time, and I knew whoever came up there, I had a fresh engine, and I didn't know how long these engines would last, if you could push a whole lap or not. I was going to test it out. Thankfully, it didn't blow out, because if we blew up in front of the pack, I think we all would have wrecked there. But, yeah, that was crazy racing. That was so much fun.
Yeah, that was nuts. And I said it earlier in this race. I made the comment. I said Kevin DeBrown, and I didn't mean this in a derogatory way. I said when it comes to aggression and when it comes to pushing, from that standpoint, the Ross Chastain in you comes out. Not the wrecking part.
That's actually quite funny.
Right.
My father watches some of these sometimes too, and he always says, "You remind me a lot of Ross Chastain." I'm like, "Well, thanks, Dad. Is the wrecking part or being aggressive?" He's like, "Yes."
Yes, that's great. But no, you did what you had to do, man. You're one that can definitely push with the best of them, and it set up perfect for you. So congratulations and send some shout outs whoever you like to.
Yeah, of course. Chris Boo painting a beautiful Racing Pride paint scheme. Them coming on for another year. You've been putting on a beautiful show. NC11 for sponsoring the series, and can't wait to do it all again tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That's also a fun part. You could do it again tomorrow night. So.
Right, yeah.
All right, my man. Well, hey, great, Dan. Those cars are even harder to push. But great job tonight, and, man, go enjoy the win with team name.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely. Kevin DeBrown, the winner tonight here at Talladega Superspeedway. So there you go. You saw the vantage point of all 3 cars and what they went through. And literally, they say when you come off at turn 4, at Talladega, the race just began. And I said it actually at the white flag. It actually starts in turn 4 because at that point you're drag racing and you're going to get what you can get. And Kevin DeBrown pretty much, when he got E.J. O'Rourke there behind him and was able to get that push, it pretty much was the end of Calantoni. The only thing Calantoni could have done, he could have went up there and thrown a block, but then you might have seen a 20-car pileup coming to the finish. So credit to Anthony for not making that move and taking what he can get out of that. Doy tried to help him, wasn't able to do it. Josh Parker was right there, so just some wild racing, man. That was fantastic, fantastic stuff here at Talladega Superspeedway. And if you like that, come back tomorrow night because we're going to do it all over again. This time in the NC811 Cup Series. And let's see, is he in here? Where's he at? Yeah, he's in the Mafia channel down here. Let's grab him. Let's hey Kev.
Yeah.
You know, there was a part of me during this race, and actually the idea from Casey War on chat here brought the idea up. There was a part of me when you were hanging out in the back of the pack that thought about bringing you up here and see you give a shout out to the whole field in front of you.
Sure. You could do that.
Well, I mean, because you're good luck of giving shout outs to people.
No kidding. It's the only way I'm going to win, I hope.
So, was there oil on pit road?
You know, I was behind those guys, and everybody pulled off, and they left the gap. And I was carrying too much speed because I had their draft and just underestimated how fast I was coming.
Hey, it happens, man. Did you have fun?
Yeah, until I crashed and spun out, and then exited pit incorrectly. And
hey, you didn't spill any coffee, did you?
No.
Good. Coffee survived. All right, man.
No,
hey,
all good.
You ready for tomorrow night?
I am.
All right. So
I'm going to Dover. See how that goes.
Oh, so he's gonna go watch the actual race at the Monster and then come up here and race this Monster potentially. So
my twin brother's coming to get me, and off we go.
Well, he was watching actually tonight, so he was giving you a shout out. Maybe that was the reason why you had your issues. But but hey, man, nice job. Be safe going to Dover.
Thanks.
All right, buddy.
Talk to you tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Kevin England, as he's going to Dover tomorrow, so best of luck to him. Enjoy the race. And now we're off. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening. A reminder, tomorrow night we'll be here at 8:15-ish Eastern time, depending on how work goes for me. And we'll be ready to rock and roll here from Talladega Superspeedway Virtual and iRacing. This isn't just a game. It's Talladega, and it's iRacing. See ya!